forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. Good morning, good noon, good evening, wherever time and place you listen to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark.
All right,
Ali.
What up?
And myself, Isaiah, together. That's hip hop. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really does mean a lot. Today, we're reviewing a legendary duo known for their vibrant fusion of Southern funk, experimental hip hop, and Afrofuturist soul. Comprised of André 3000 and Big Boi, the duo is known for blending playful, eccentric with lyrical depth, creating music that's both cerebral and danceable. Andre's off-kilter flows, melodic delivery, and poetic lyricism contrast brilliantly with Big Boi's slick, rapid-fire verses and grounded streetwise perspective. Their sound is rooted in Southern hip-hop traditions, but fearlessly incorporates elements of jazz, rock, electronic, gospel, psychedelic. I mean, it's a good mixing pot of a lot of different genres in this, which is very cutting edge with this group. From the bass-heavy grooves of aliens to the genre-blurring brilliance of Speaker Box, The Love Below, their catalog reflects a fearless commitment to reinvention. They're monumental, this group. They redefined what Southern hip-hop could be, proved that mainstream success and artistic innovation could go hand in hand. Their albums, especially Aquemini and Stankonia, are widely hailed as some of the greatest hip-hop music in history. Their duo broke boundaries, not just musically, but also stylistically, with André 3000's bold fashion and creative direction, challenging hip-hop's norms, winning 6 Grammys, including Album of the Year for Speaker Box, The Love Below. OutKast helped elevate Southern rap to global prominence while inspiring countless artists to embrace originality, storytelling, and music experimentation. We're talking about the 4th studio album, Stankonia, released on October 31st, 2000 by LaFace Records and Arista Records. Production came from Earth Tone 3, which is their production team consisting of OutKast and Mr. DJ, Dr. Dre, imagine, and longtime collaborations with Organized Noize. This was a follow-up to their 1998 album, Aquemini. The duo worked to create an expensive and experimental music aesthetic, incorporating a diverse array of styles, including funk, rave music, psychedelic, gospel, rock, and dirty South oriented hip-hop music. Singles from this include B.O.B, Miss Jackson, So Fresh and So Clean. The album debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling over 530,000 copies in its first week. Miss Jackson became the group's first single to reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. At the 44th Annual Grammy Awards, OutKast won Best Rap Album for Stankonia and Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group for Miss Jackson. The album length is 73 minutes and 7 seconds. Ali, you chose this album for us to cover today. What led you to choose this album for us to look at?
I have been debating for my turns to do an OutKast album for a while, and I just figured that now was the perfect time. And the hard part for me was picking which one. Yeah. Because I was narrowing it between Aquemini and Stankonia, but I went with Stankonia because it was the one that I really lived with and lived through. When Aquemini came out, I might have been like 9, almost 10. I remember the song Rosa Parks being hot, but I didn't, dive into that album in real time. Whereas Stankonia, when this album came out, I was all into it when it came out. It came on Halloween in 2000, I believe. Yeah. And I remember getting this album and just running through so many tracks on here, and the videos were so amazing at this time. Yeah. I remember when B.O.B first came out, I was like, what is this? I mean, it sounded like something out of a video game. Like, that to me is the comparison I can give for B.O.B. The beat how crazy they were rapping, and I figured it was time also to give some love to, you know, Southern pioneers in hip hop. Mm-hmm. You know, we've done some Southern albums here, but I feel like OutKast was the first to really put Atlanta on the map, authentically Atlanta, sonically Atlanta. Because, like, you know, the first ones to really blow up from Atlanta were Crisscross, but their music wasn't necessarily rooted in being from Atlanta. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you could have looked at them and thought they were from anywhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Whereas OutKast, they made it a point to show they were from Atlanta, really from day one, even to the point where their video for Southern Playalistic or Players Ball, one of those two videos, Diddy actually directed the video, and he had them put on Braves jerseys because they came wearing something else, but Diddy was like, no, put on these Braves jerseys so they know you're from Atlanta. Like they showed that from day, because back in the 90s, where you were from was everything.
Right.
So they had them do that, even down to the point where they win at the 95 Source Awards, they win Best New Artist, and they get booed. It was in New York, and OutKast got booed. Basically, anyone who wasn't from New York that night got booed.
Yeah.
You know, Death Row's getting booed, Snoop, Dre, all of them. But OutKast, they won Best New Artist and got booed. It was an
iconic one, too, because is that the one where
Dre
Andres,
says, the South got something to say.
Yeah, that's
like
iconic.
That line, it just woke up hip-hop and the South. You know what I mean? He said, the South got something to say, and that's all I got to say. And that's it. But getting into this album, particularly with Stankonia, I feel like this album was where OutKast propelled from stars to superstars. Yeah. And then obviously the next album went from superstars to iconic, it's like legends.
Where they cracked the code.
Yes. Yeah. Like they had hits before this, like, you know,
they already had
AT-Aliens and Players Ball and Rosa Parks. Like they had hits before this album. But again, like you mentioned, Miss Jackson went #1. Yeah. Like Miss Jackson was everywhere. That song was massive. B.O.B. was super, super dope. So Fresh So Clean lived on BET. Like that song, you couldn't watch BET for every three or four videos. So Fresh So Clean was gonna come on in 2000, 2001. So I feel like I wanted to just capture that period because it's something that, you know, was living through in real time. You know what I mean? The forever, ever catching on. You know what I mean? That becoming just a thing people would say. Yeah. You know what I mean? So Fresh So Clean becoming just, you know, it got to a point I used to get dressed listening to So Fresh So Clean. You know what I mean? Like it made me feel good listening to that song while getting dressed in the morning.
Yeah,
you know
or
what
washing
I mean?
your car or something.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it just made you feel that. So I wanted to really pay homage to OutKast and Stankonia particularly because it is my personal favorite OutKast album, and So Fresh So Clean is my favorite OutKast song. So those are the reasons why I ended up landing on this album.
It's a dope album. What were your thoughts, Mark? I'm interested in your thoughts about OutKast and when they first burst on the scene for you.
Right around this time, because mainstream radio was prevalent in my circle, and with OutKast being, you didn't really get a lot of it in the beginning, but when they finally started getting their appropriate shine, you end up listening to the Miss Jackson and So Fresh So Clean, and you find them to be very appealing. They sound different, you know. They have this charm to them that I guess you'd call it the Southern charm. You have that charm to them that's just like no one else has it. Where does this come from? You know, and listening to them, this is around the time where I'm starting to listen to them more often than not. I remember getting dropped off to high school, and I would listen to, you know, on Miss Jackson on the radio, and they even around where we live, Power 106 with Big Boi, they did the parody "I'm Sorry Phil Jackson" right around the time where they did, you know, they lost to the Detroit Pistons. So a little later, even after, but they still, you know, did the parody to it, which is it's just an example to how the music's so prevalent to it. Mm-hmm. But this would be the album that birthed my interest in OutKast, and even after that point, when it's on any given day, I could tell you that one of my favorite albums of all time is Speakerboxxx The Love Below, and I consider that one whole album.
Yes,
you know. But yeah, no, this is, I'm very excited to cover this because we get to unearth this this long lost city. You've heard of this long lost country. You've heard of Atlantis. You've heard of these other places, but we're gonna go to Stankonia,
the planet of Stankonia.
Stank on
planet.
it.
Yeah,
Stank on it. Yeah. I just I remember too, like similar to you, going to school, hearing this on the radio. Actually, what's kind of funny is like, and this has happened to me a couple of times. I mentioned this with like DMX. I actually didn't like it first listening. When I first heard it, I was just like, it was so different that like I was like not used to it yet. I guess it's like it's kind of like just like if I was tasting something new for the first time. You know, you haven't really got like acclimated to it yet, or haven't developed the taste. But like when I first heard it, I was just like, it was still catchy, but like, and it was like I would hear it over and over. I would hear it right after like Usher's like 7 o'clock. Usher was big around this time, so it was like Usher. You would hear that in the morning, and then you would hear this like kind of right after that on the radio. But then like later on, as I start to get older, and I'm looking back at the music video, I'm hearing the instrumental. I'm realizing they're using the wedding song as a sample, and they're breaking it down, and just the storytelling, talking about, you know, the baby's mama, and then the catchy, iconic line, baby's mama's mama, like, or forever, ever, ever. Like, it's like, it's so genius. And that's just like, that was a very, like, I think simple track, but it was popular, you know, it was made for the masses, but they have so much other joints that are like dope. I mean, one of my favorite ones is that Quemini one where it's like, and your heroes die. It's him doing the chorus, but that chorus is so crazy to me. But he just talks about when the curtain closes. Basically, it's him and Quemini, like
Quemini. That was the song. Yep.
Yeah, that to me is like legendary stuff. Like
it goes to show you with the range, because there's one of my favorite tracks is the Prototype. And the Prototype is barely rap.
Right.
But that shows you the artistic range of what these guys collectively do. You know, so it's very it's just a testament to how effective their strengths go, where Andre 3000 is more artistically minded, and Big Boi's grounded in street culture, but can still go there, to still go to the depths where Andre 3000 can go
rap,
to.
He can rap very rapid fire, and like with
So
these beats that are just like crazy. Like rapping on that Miss Jackson beat is crazy. Like,
right, that's not a regular
typical
beat.
It's not like the 80 BPM. Like it's not in that pocket. It's definitely a different type of style. Invited, like it's a very quick, like
they treaded new water on artistic hip hop. I mean, I would say we're around the same time where Arrested Development's doing something too. And I'm not going to try to discredit them, because they're definitely artistic in their things. Diggable Planets as well. But to take that artistic hip hop sound and elevate it so much that the mainstream hears it.
Yes, that's the difference.
The mainstream heard it.
Yep.
You know, Diggable Planets did Cool Like That, Rebirth of Slick. That, boom, hit a little bit. Tennessee, Arrested Development, hit a little bit. You needed those for them to even be recognized.
Correct.
But these guys hit after hit.
A lot of good hits.
After hit, after album, after album, after album.
And they did it so like organically. The authenticity is there.
In a Shakespearean tragedy of such, to where you want them to do another album.
Right.
Yeah. But they did give us quite a bit to work with here, which I'll at least
we need more, B.
I'll at least
give
give
them back.
And
no more flute albums.
I like the fact that they were like, you know, they went, you know, to the cosmos with it. Like, I love that.
Oh yeah.
But then yet they're still rooted here in Atlanta. Like that's crazy cool.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of the roles they play. Like, I feel like 3000 allows them to go to the moon.
Right.
And I feel like Big Boi is what can keep them grounded.
Right. It's a perfect
he's the one that keeps them
it's a perfect
normal to a degree. Even though Big Boi can get on his own, you know, futuristic funkadelic stuff too.
Yeah.
But I feel like Big Boi is the one that keeps it grounded a little bit more. You
and
know,
the earth needs the moon.
Because
gotta have it.
You would think the South, it was like, I mean, just the impression you would get would be, oh, it's gonna be slower. It's gonna be
not lyrically as
not
right.
lyrically
Depth to
acclimated
everything
else.
to but they break all those stereotypes and they're like,
quick.
we're out of here.
I mean,
like,
from the first album, I mean, Southern Playalistic Cadillac
Yeah,
music
yeah.
is nuts.
Yeah.
AT Aliens, crazy.
Yep.
Aquemini, then it really starts to go. And then Stankonia and Speaker Box Love Below, like all of it. They just kept building and building and building to that crescendo of Speaker Box Love Below. And I feel like Stankonia was that last kind of like, moment before they really went nuts.
Because once he starts doing the hey,
Done,
like where are we at?
Gone.
We're like
gone,
in a whole new territory.
gone.
Now. Like,
And again, you mentioned them winning Album of the Year at the Grammys. That is still the last rap album to win Album of the Year.
That's crazy.
There's only been two.
All right.
There's only two. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill
Yeah.
and Speaker Box Love Below.
And you see like how it aged well.
Oh,
like
very
looking
well.
back at it, and that's why so many people love them or want them to come back, because when you look back at it, you're like, whoa, they were ahead of their time, and now we realize it and see it. Now we want them back.
It's like they were ahead.
Yeah.
It was like they were on time and ahead of the time at the same time.
Right, at the same time.
It's a beautiful thing when you can do that. Very few can pull that off.
And again, with the duo thing, like the duo thing is something special when you have a duo that can come together like
absolutely,
just like Fife and Q-Tip. I
mean, that's literally their direct inspiration was Tribe.
Yeah, hearing them young.
They was like, look, we just wanted to be as good as Tribe. They said, if we could do that, we're good. You know what I mean? Because they were like, we were the few in our area that really were listening to Tribe and De La Soul.
Yeah.
A lot of people around, they weren't really up on that. You know what I mean? They was listening to Two Live Crew and local guys from out here in Atlanta.
Yeah, different. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas we would listen to De La and Tribe, you know what I mean? Because that's what we liked. And that's what we were emulating in the beginning while we were trying to find our own sound.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love this group so much. And, that might be, and I mean, nowadays when we look at like, Andre 3000, he's kind of made some statements in regards to coming back into hip hop or not. At first his statement was, it was for the young people. And I got where he was coming from. I get where he's coming from that. But we've seen examples of others who
40s and 50s
are doing it, and we love it. We love the content.
Styles
that
P, Jadakiss, Pusha T,
and so it's kind of changed the conversation now, where he's been a little bit more open about it. But
even 2 Chainz,
he's been experimenting more with actual like flutes and piano and stuff like that. So we don't know what will come about with that, but.
If he comes out with the cello album, I'm gonna protest. I gotta go somewhere.
It's funny. Have you guys seen that sketch from Keen and Peele, like where they do a sketch about these two? Yeah. Where they come into a coffee shop or something, and he plays Andre 3000, and a Big Boi's asking him, he's like, man, why are you like so crazy? Why are you so far and beyond? Just come back, man. And just come back. And he's like doing the most with just his coffee order and all this stuff. It's like, there's like parodies of this now of like how much of a difference it was around this time on this album is when they started to kind of notice the differences a bit more. And then you get, Speaker Box, Love Below, you start to kind of see the divergence more kind of splitting.
I mean, they basically released 2 solo albums and packaged it as one.
They wanted to do 2 solo.
Yep, that's how it started.
They didn't let them.
Smartest idea to combine them.
Because I want to say Big Boi started doing a solo first, and then because I guess 3000 wasn't like around recording at that time, so Big Boi's like, look, I'm gonna make something. So he's making the album, and then I think the label tells 3 Six like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of ready to get and going. He's like, well, Big Boi got this whole album already about to be made. He's like, he does?
Genius.
Oh, okay. So then he gets in and makes basically the Love Below basically on his own. I mean, I think they only collabed together like 3 songs on the whole project. Right. But yeah, they take the 2 albums and they package it as one, and it's a classic.
Yeah, the beats are crazy too. That
Insane.
They choose to rap on is like,
I mean, by this point, they're not even using Organized Noize for everything anymore. No. You know what I mean? Like, Organized Noize did their entire first 3 albums.
That's right.
Stankonia is the first time you start to see them divvy away from that a little bit, and then by the time we get to Speak About Those Below, I don't think they did any beats on that.
Yeah, because they had a house where they were just basically kind of in
the dungeon.
The dungeon, right? So they were just at the dungeon. It's kind of like Grimm's Lair, Dragon Lair. Like they was just in the dungeons cooking.
Yeah.
Like, that's dope.
They used to work in Rico Wade's basement, and they would be. It was Rico Wade, Sleepy Brown. I forget the other producer's name. And then they'd be down there, and they basically were down there cooking up OutKast and Goody Mob. Like that was like kind of the 2 groups they were really molding at that time. And it was magical time, and they came out and kicked the door down for the South. And really, they gave, not just for the South, but they gave hip hop a different look in the mainstream.
Yes.
Something different to look at. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to all be this. Even not just hip hop as a whole, but then the South specifically, it's not all trap music. And this predates trap music.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like they mentioned, like there's songs where they mentioned the trap in their early albums, but they didn't, make it to where it was a point where that was what they focused on. Whereas you get to T.I. and Jeezy later, like that was their focus. They more so were giving reflections of what the South is without having to be, solely put in street life.
Right.
Yeah. And to understand,
even though CeeLo was like more gangster than a lot of rappers.
Yeah.
I hope y'all know that. CeeLo really was about that.
you're lucky he's funny.
Seriously.
If he wasn't funny,
CeeLo
you'd
Green
see
was
how
about that.
serious he'd be.
Mm-hmm.
He's crazy. He's telling you.
Literally.
We're at a point here in present 2025 where even now we're still asking for this long-awaited OutKast album.
Just
that
one more.
Yeah.
may or may not happen.
Right.
Like they reunite in Coachella in 2014.
Yeah, I think it was 2014.
So this is long awaited, obviously, but this is just to paint a good picture of this. This isn't other rappers putting out this long awaited project. No. This is an act that's in the rarefied era of the Jay-Z's, the Nas.
Yes,
These guys can't do no wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why we want to see them do an album where they won't be able to do any wrong, and we just want to hear them.
Just one more.
And this is my disdain that I have for these albums that André 3000, though I do appreciate the artistic integrity that he tries to keep, but you wouldn't be having people to listen to you if you didn't start rapping in the first place.
Facts.
So, I hope that point gets across to where it's like, okay, cool, do your artistic stuff first, but then
No problem.
how about you just, give us a little.
That's all.
Give the mouse us, the audience, the cookie that we need.
That's
I would
man.
say there's been enough space now where I'm sure he has something to say. I mean, over this time of period from when he's last released, right, to now, there's a lot of life.
In that conversation you mentioned, he was like, "What do y'all want to hear me talk about kaleidoscopy?" Yeah,
talk about it.
If you make it dope, we'll hear about it.
Do some crazy rhymes.
We like
about
hearing
it,
about
like,
grown stuff.
And then I could quote that when I have to get my colonoscopy.
Yeah.
It's like,
come on.
Yeah, it'd be dope. So
Make sure to get checked. He just makes a big old album about it. It's like it's just a general now. Like it becomes like a general theme now. Like, oh
but
man,
it's that. See, that's
That
the
much
thing
of a
about him
hit.
though. Is like that's a special power, I guess. Like it's that powerful. Like the hooks that dude comes up with. Oh man, it becomes like almost like a lexicon.
Yes.
Almost like the way he somehow manages to hit the nail on the head with something that like, oh, so fresh and so clean.
yeah.
Like
We're not the
How
only
come I
three
didn't think
guys
of
that want this. You know?
how come I didn't think about that?
That's right. That sounds like something that somebody should have been made.
Right. Yeah.
And they made So Fresh, So Clean, and now it's an anthem.
now it's now it's forever gonna be so fresh and so clean.
Yep. You think of OutKast.
Or I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Right.
I am for real.
Right.
Like it's just embedded in your head, rent free, as they say. Style wise, when you hear these guys, what are you guys picking up when you hear? Let's start with André 3000 first.
Yeah.
When you hear André 3000, like, does it remind you of anybody, or is it unique, or what do you guys get?
No, to me, from the Southern twang to the very direct approach in his vocal delivery, it's almost like he almost sounds like a robot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vocally, you know what I mean? no matter the pitch he uses, it's almost robotic in how he delivers his rhymes, but they're so freaking good, man. Like he really, because he'll say stuff that just makes you think like, wow, like it's so captivating how he delivers
it's
and
in
what
the delivery.
What is the delivery and what he says. Like I remember he had a bar on one of his songs. He said something like, he said, I'm trying to get it. He said,
to help with this real quick, it even
ahead.
stems from the.
I'm gonna pick it up.
It even stems from the intro of the Love Below, like the Love Below's intros. It's classical music.
Yeah.
Some say Atlanta, some say New York, some may even say Paris, France, but who knows where these flowers grow?
Man, like, he's just different,
bro. And he's not even. Again, we go back to the center point of like. He could rap too.
Yes.
And he could rap.
you know?
Yeah, it's almost like a and this, he kind of reminds me of like a guy version of Lauryn Hill a little bit.
Okay.
And the fact that he could easily transition from singing to rapping like very seamlessly. Like it's an easy transition.
Right.
His vocal pitch and timbre are akin to how rare it is with like the only rarity that you see like that is Common.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas you could differentiate the two, and then you could be like, man, he's unique as him.
Yes.
Sounding.
Yeah.
Sounding wise, not style wise, but just sounding
like
wise.
anybody who's dated Erykah Badu, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Rock always says, Chris Rock always, he had a bit, a long time ago, he said, anybody that sleeps with Erykah Badu, they start dressing weird and dropping their best music. Like, he said it's something about her. He said they start dressing weird but drop their best music.
Man.
No, so yeah, I found the bars. He was like, he said the morals that you think you got go out the window when all the other kids are fresh and they got new Nintendo, Wii's, and your child is down on her knees praying hard up to God for a Whopper with cheese. Like that, like he just drops those jewels like that, and he'll just sprinkle that in there around a whole bunch of just crazy bars.
Yeah, it'll just mess you up just on that one bar.
So freaking dope, man. Yeah, 3 Stacks. I mean, he's the one. I almost, it's like a gift and a curse. I kind of hate that it's like this, but he's like the one or two Southern rappers that when people talk about their top 5, they'll throw 3,000.
They want to put them in there.
They'll make sure they throw 3,000 or Scarface. It'll usually be one or the other. Now, me personally, as much as I love 3,000 as an MC, like I'm more, I don't want to say accepting, but like when I hear Scarface mentioned with that, I'm more like, all right, I got that. Yeah. Because he has an extensive solo catalog of albums and songs, whereas 3,000, as just now bar for bar, yes, he can go with anybody. But we never got a true solo rap album from Andre 3000. Right. You know what I mean? And again, just from a skill level, I got you. It's just on the material side, we don't have enough. Yeah. But at the same time, again, you measure those verses up, he can go with just about anybody. It's just the output isn't the same. Yeah. That's only like, you know, and I've gotten heat for saying that before, but that's the only reason why just individually I don't herald him. That's why I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like those conversations just because now, when you say OutKast, 1,000%. Right. Because as a group, just from a impact, sales, you know what I mean, quality of discography, you could probably make the case OutKast is the greatest hip hop group of all time. Like that's a legit argument.
It could be a case.
You know what I mean? Like
trajectory. You know what I mean? Considering that
you throw in Tribe, you throw in Wu, like there's other you know groups you can throw in that conversation, but when you're having that discussion, you have to mention OutKast. Yeah. You just because of what they were able to do.
How groundbreaking they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is
too. That hits. So.
And the lyricism of 3000 is what made, you know, because again, the South, it was all about getting that respect from New York. That was the main thing you wanted in the 90s. 3000 was the one that everybody knew was like, okay, that dude spits. I don't care that he's from Atlanta. That dude spits. You know what I mean? And
they took it even with the fashion too.
Yeah.
So like
you know
even that was different.
Right.
So,
it was on his own. He was on his own type of time. And again, it was like AT Aliens was like the beginning of that shift, but Aquemini was really when he went there. And then it just got progressively more and more to Stankonia to Speakerbox Love Below. Yeah. You know, Love Below, I remember I hated that album at first. Not because it wasn't good, because I wanted to hear 3000 rap. when I took a step back and really took it for what it was, I was like, oh no, it's amazing. You know what I mean? But I just really wanted to hear 17 songs of Andre 3000 going crazy lyrically, and he might have rapped on maybe like 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the only thing with that. But just when you look at his rapping, you can't deny it. The dude goes, and then, you know, in this post OutKast run, I would say from, let's say, 08 to like 2016, 17, 3000's on this feature run where every single feature he's on, he's destroying it.
Yeah.
Like, if the volume was higher, it would be even crazier.
Right.
But it would be like once or twice a year.
You'd hope he'd feature with Big Boi and try to make some sort of super
Right. Big Boi did drop about 5 solo albums with no 3000 on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd be interested to see like how he does in the 2010s, because at that point, that's when there was a shift with things being more melodic.
And he's on songs with Jeezy.
Yeah.
He got a song with Rick Ross. He got a song with the R&B singer Lloyd. He got a song like anything. I mean, he's been on all these different features, and 3000 is just murdering all of them.
Yeah.
Every single feature.
And that was an appropriate time too, because that shift is around the South.
Right.
Yes.
That shifts around the South. So why not have the pretty
The
much
guy.
the guy that can do it?
Do it.
Yeah. Right.
It's funny too, is like, you know, Andre is still heralded as that guy. Like, I think I saw a clip where Kendrick Lamar was in the studio showing Dre something, and like Andre 3000's in there, like giving his input on something Kendrick Lamar's doing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of crazy. Like the fact that he's in there with Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, you know, Andre 3000.
The 2 greatest Dre's.
Yeah. And the 2 double Dre'd up.
Dr.
Dr. Dre 3000.
Dr. Dre 3000.
What kind of album would that be?
The super group you never know you need.
That group would be insanity.
The West Coast inspired Dr. Dre.
Wow.
Detox comes out with 3000.
It's about to get filthy in the dirty South.
It's about to get dirty
It's about to get filthy.
in the West Coast South
Insane.
In the clean colored West Coast, it's about to get filthy.
this summer.
This summer. Got the movie guy doing the trailer for the debut of that album.
Yeah, that would be kind of crazy. Yeah. What about Big Boi? Big Boi now. We're talking about Big Boi.
Oh,
Underappreciated.
very much so.
Underappreciated, and
definitely.
it's only because he's been consistent.
Yeah.
With what he's been doing. He's doing his.
Yeah.
He knows where he gets his money.
He's the ground floor, but it's a very high ground floor.
Absolutely.
Like, very high level.
Yeah. It's almost like, again, it's like we get these duos where like they get the one guy that's super heralded,
Right.
and the other one tends to be the more consistent one, though.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't think he can go there.
Right.
But then you listen to ghetto music.
Oof.
He can do it by himself.
Yeah,
Spitting.
he certainly can.
The
It
way
almost
you
lets you.
move.
It almost makes you think that he just let Andre 3000 do what he wanted to do. It was like
because
I could creep there.
Speaker Box, Big Boi was going crazy.
And you see a little bit of that in So Fresh and So Clean.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool that you see this, like, oh man, the trajectory on not just one of the guys, but Andre 3000 and Big Boi are going on this trajectory
Nice.
where both of these guys like are on the same level of just getting better.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I-
almost feel like they should have let them both do solo albums. You know,
They basically did.
Maybe that would have helped them come back together. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. I mean, because I think that's also one of the reasons why the Locks never broke up. Because they had their periods where they all were able to do their solos,
Yeah.
eventually come back around.
Yeah.
And it took a long time, but they did eventually do it, and they did it twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do, Locks albums after doing 3-4 solo albums.
Because maybe that space would have been good for them or healthy for them.
Possibly.
maybe.
It could have helped. That is a good point to bring up. But I do also think part of the reason 3000 gets that super, super love and Big Boi doesn't, I think just because Big Boi's style is really, really, really Southern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the true
Kind of
essence
traditional, right?
of real like Southern hip hop.
Yeah.
And he was the first real spitter from Atlanta that really
dude,
kept it
he
Atlanta.
was-
You know what I'm
he
saying?
kept it there,
And he
yeah.
did it without doing, again, he predated trap music. So it was before T.I. and Jeezy and 2 Chainz and Gucci Mane, all of them started to get that look where it was like Big Boi could spit with all these dudes. I mean, he's on songs with, freaking Killer Mike and Jay-Z, and I mean, Big Boi could go with all these guys.
Lyrically lyrically Atlanta for sure.
Yes, and to think
But
that
so good.
just because 3000's this, you know, that's the one thing about it, because I've never liked how they put 3000 here and they act like Big Boi's like here. It's like, nah, 3000's here.
Narrative.
Big Boi is here. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the real narrative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to give 3000 the edge, that's fine.
Yeah,
but it's
you
that,
better
but
check that gap.
that gap
You know
is
what
a
I
lot
mean?
closer than people act like it is.
Yeah, because Big Boy's that nice.
Spitting. I mean, he can go with all these dudes.
Big Boi,
And
2800.
And we only say this because it still holds true, but the weakest link would have gotten exposed.
Yeah,
Yes.
by now it would have been exposed.
And he's the one dropping the music lately,
Yeah.
and most of it is really good. Like, Sir Lucius Left Foot is a great album. I remember playing that album on repeat. I was like, well, this is the closest thing I'm gonna get to OutKast, and it's fire. Like, I was blown away how good that album was.
Yeah, I think he had that razor sharp edge, street savviness to him. He was traditional to the South, punchy, slick wordplay.
Yes.
Rapid fire, spitting bars. He still had the Southern slang to it. Authenticity was there. Clever, confident. Like, it was all the boxes are checked.
Yes.
Swagger, even the references, politics. Like, he got it all. Yeah, he got it all. The aggressiveness.
Yep.
The natural bounce, command of the flow.
Oh,
Complex lines.
Yes.
Yeah, he got it all. Yeah, you're right, though. At that time, though, when they came out, like, it did feel like they were putting more emphasis on André 3000.
Oh, for sure. And again, he gets.
Maybe he even knew that, too. Maybe he allowed that as well.
And like I said, he deserves. I got no shade about the love that 3000 gets. I just hate that it comes at the expense of Big Boi.
Yeah,
that's
right,
the part I don't like. That they act like he's so leaps and bounds ahead of him. No,
Yeah, he's right there.
Nah.
Would you guys rather have this one new OutKast, this hypothetical OutKast album now, or would you still have the same album but still dropped in with the occasional releases of OutKast? Would you have had OutKast remain consistent and even still, they're still going at it, or would you rather have this long-awaited joint?
Long-awaited. Me personally, I'll take a long-awaited.
Damn, that's a good question, because there's pros and cons with both.
I'll
take the long-awaited.
We've seen both.
There's how can I love you if you don't go away?
Yeah.
I'll take the long-awaited just because I feel like it will have a lot of life that they lived through. So I'm sure they could say something for the times, especially
kids
after
grow
everything
up.
going on.
Like, they'd have. I mean, I could just see them making a song about, like, I could almost see them revisiting Miss Jackson, but now their kids being adults. You know what I mean? Now watching them see their children reach adulthood and what that has done to the dichotomy of their relationships. Like, I could almost see that happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just, their space in the game. And
then imagine they could get even political, even
returning to Stankonia after so long.
Returning.
Dog.
They could be talking about things that are going on now. Like,
yes.
I mean, that'd be
stuff
kind of crazy.
in current events.
Yeah.
Stuff politically, what's going on in the rap game. Like,
what's going on in the rap game,
the more I'm talking about it, the more I think I would rather have preferred the long-awaited comeback album.
Yeah.
Especially if we got a tour with it.
Yeah.
The Love Above coming soon.
The Love Above.
The last comparison I wanted to make was I felt like André 3000 could be compared to Prince a little bit.
Oh, definitely. He's a huge, heavy influence on him. Heavy. So much so that he actually threw a shot at Michael Jackson on a TLC joint.
Oh, true. I didn't
Yes. You know what I mean? Like, that's how much he loves Prince, and that whole competition thing with them. He's heavily on the Prince side of that.
Big Boi, I could see being like a Samuel L. Jackson.
Ooh.
Commanding, confident, unapologetic. Like, I could totally see that for sure. We move on to the album cover. The album cover, for those who are listening, has André 3000 and Big Boi. They're standing in front of a American flag, but the flag is black and white. Big Boi is with the white tee. He has a chain on. DF.
Dungeon Family.
Family. That's dope. Fresh goatee cut. Kind of looking with it's kind of like a positive face, but not so much of a smile, but kind of a smile there.
Yeah.
Then you have André 3000, kind of like pretending he's playing the keys.
Oh.
Almost.
Yeah.
And then he's shirtless, with like some arm braces that you would have in Gladiator. He has a headband with his hair pimpified like a perm.
Nice and permed out.
And he's like giving you some sort of like sexiness look, it looks like, with like leather pants.
3000 definitely is. He definitely is a sex
He's
symbol.
doing the 3000, right?
3000 is a sex symbol in rap. That is a fact.
There's an extended album cover to this that we chose to not share with the viewing audience.
Yeah, where it's like short leather shorts or something.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, it was good that it cut off right
It's
here.
graciously cropped. Yeah.
What do we take out of this album cover? What are we looking at here?
There's a statement to be made. We ultimately need the interpretation of both Andre 3000 and Big Boi to get what the black and white of the American flag is. I do like the racial undertones that it kind of gets. I see it from the outside looking in. Granted, I need a more interior perspective on that, whether it be me as a black man or as me as just asking them, hey, what's the real thing about this? But I mean, it's a good, it's different. I've never seen the American flag like that up to any point.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I mean, the cover, it definitely makes a statement. You see, even just subtly, they're showing contrast. Big Boi got his shirt on, 3000 shirtless.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, just showing those opposites. Like, they're really good at showing.
Or look at this ice. He got ice chain, and then Andre 3000 has
like
beads.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Yeah. So they're really good at subconsciously showing that they're really different people. You know what I mean? Even though they're able to come together and make, beautiful music, they're so different. Yeah. They're different in their approach. They're different in, how they, approach their gear. All of it's different.
Like a Shaq and Kobe sort of.
Seriously. Like, yeah.
Star power for sure.
Star power. They both got it. And they just, again, it's like this album just basically says, like, we ain't playing around. You know what I mean? And also, there was I think it was the Yin Yang Twins. They had an album called The United States of Atlanta for USA. Yeah. So I'm not saying that they're pulling that off with this American flag, but it, like, for me, it gives those vibes of just like, we're united, in our approach, we're united in our music. The United States may not always be appearing that way, but at the same time, those are the values that, this country stands for. Yeah.
I see it as kind of like a coming out. Like, they're saying, like, we're here, America. Like,
we're
right here now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they was here.
Or definitely probably even just a political undertone here. Possibly, them touching on some things going on and everything. I think at this time, I don't know if we were at war yet, or I think we were at war in Iraq, or
not quite, because 9/11 hadn't happened.
No, yeah,
9/11 hadn't happened yet.
Which is crazy that bombs over Baghdad predates 9/11.
That is crazy.
And then we end up literally bombing
now it means
Baghdad. Like, that's
different now.
It's crazy how it was almost like they
prophetic.
Yes, very prophetic, very prophetic.
Yeah, that's crazy too.
Yeah. So even still, we're still dealing with like post-desert storm too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
and
even right
with
now,
occupation, with occupation still there at that time,
and that's why this is still relevant to this day. So if you don't know, we're still dealing with dealings in the Middle East, like, to this day. This is like almost 25 years out.
Right.
So
crazy.
40 years total if you count Desert Storm too.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, iconic album cover, though. It does stand out for sure. If you were looking at like a collage of albums, this would stand out for sure, like pops. So this is the point where we go into transition. We go into 3 songs that we like out of the album that we favorited. Usually we vote to see which 3 are going to make it. So we end up going to the lyrics, finding any schemes going on, what they're saying, what they're talking about, cadences, punchlines, you name it, all that's in there. So the 3 songs that we chose: So Fresh and So Clean, and then I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson, I Am For Real, that's the second one, and then B.O.B is the third one.
Yes,
correct.
Comes Over Baghdad. So we go on to So Fresh and So Clean.
Oh, I want Big Boi's first verse.
You got it. Let's see.
I love that verse.
Sleepy Brown's mad underappreciated.
Oh, what? what he did with them hooks, he was like the Southern Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
You really want to get real. He provided the role of like what Nate Dogg would do for Death Row and Aftermath and all of that.
That's
like,
crazy.
That's what Sleepy Brown was for OutKast and Goody Mob and Dungeon Family.
Yep.
For sure.
Ain't nobody dope as me.
I'm just so fresh, so clean.
So fresh, so clean.
Don't you think I'm so sexy? I'm just so fresh, so clean.
Fresh and so clean.
Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh, so clean.
Fresh and so clean.
I love when you stare at me. I'm just so fresh, so clean.
Fresh and so clean.
Like that. See, just that's songwriting. That is songwriting. Like, it's great to be lyrical, but that is songwriting.
Right. You almost think like they wrote this before the beat. I don't know if they wrote this after the beat or what, but it's like it's so good even without the beat.
Perfect.
The chorus, the hook, like
it's perfect.
Yeah, the melody to that is crazy.
Perfect. And then Big Boi starts. Sir Lucius got Gator Belts and Patty Melts and Monte Carlos and Eldorados. I'm waking up out of my slumber feeling like Rollo. So follow. It's showtime at Apollo minus the Kiki Shepherds. What about a hoe in a leopard print? Teddy, Pendergrass, cooler than Freddie Jackson sipping a milkshake in a snowstorm.
It's almost like they're talking to you.
Like he's literally like, this sounds like pimp talk.
Yeah, it's
like this literally sounds like some players, shit.
Yeah.
Like he really is on that right here. He said, Teddy, Pendergrass, cooler than Freddie Jackson, sipping a milkshake in a snowstorm. Let a throat warm in the dorm room at the AU. We blew hay to athletes might pick you, but you must have me mistaken with them statements that you make, cuz.
Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh and
so fresh and so clean.
Don't you think I'm so sexy?
I'm just so fresh and
so fresh and so clean.
How many bars is that Big Boi did right there? Is that?
That's a good, yeah. Good. Let me count.
Because it doesn't look like it's too long. But like,
count it real quick. Hold on.
You might even just count it as like a this would just be the bridge. This chorus would just be the bridge to connect another 8.
Yeah, it's 8 bars. Yeah.
Because then he's like Canary Yellow, 7-9 Seville's on display. That's a very nice way to talk about your Cadillac. Canary Yellow, 7-9 Seville's on display. Bongo hooked it up. Omar gonna dip my rims today. So can ride out to the honeycomb hideout. I'm going to show you how to wild out like Jack Tripper. Let me be Bambino on your snipper, YKK on your zipper, lick you like a lizard when I'm slizzard or sober. 6 million ways to fold ya like Noah's. I get 2 of yous and you get pretty D, but I call your ass round 8-ish. I know you'll be there for me, girl.
See, he's lacing this just player talk like. He's really giving you that.
Yeah. The chorus.
For what it's not in like structured rhyming and lyricism, it sure is smooth.
Yes. Very much so.
It's like just a good hard liquor that you're just sipping on. Just need a little bit. Just need a little bit.
Just a little shot of just a little bit of Henny.
Yeah.
Little
Why'd it have to be Henny, Ali?
Little cognac. Little cognac.
Those huge baby eyes get to running off their mouth and telling me everything that's on your nasty mind. They say you malnutritioned and need a vitamin D and invited me to that tingle in your spine. I love you. I love who you are. I love who you ain't. You're so Anne Frank. Let's hit the attic and hide out for about 2 weeks. Rick James and so no chains and whips. I do suck lips till hips jerk in double time. The boy next door's a freak, haha.
Man,
just like a cool way to like basically say like I'm down to fiddle around with you. Like,
but he did it in such a very abstract way.
Yeah, you're so Anne Frank.
Those huge baby eyes get to running off at their mouth and telling me everything that's on your nasty mind. Like that's such a crazy way to run those bars together like that.
Edgar Allan Poe's like, damn. Shakespeare's like,
ooh, that was good.
And what the best part about what happens in this next verse is that this chorus just goes into it. So fresh is so clean, and we are
the coolest motherfuckers on the planet.
And my mind,
the sky is falling, ain't no need to panic.
But I
got a stick and want your automatic.
Compatible,
created in the attic.
And we are
the coolest motherfuckers on the planet.
And my mind,
the sky is falling, ain't no need to panic. I got a stick and want your automatic. Compatible, created in the attic. Like
and then it goes back to the
hook, and they just run the hook till it fades.
That's different.
And And that's another part of songwriting that's missing too. What happened to songs that just fade?
Right. Yeah.
Just fade to the end.
That now.
Get a dope hook and just plays until it ends.
We see how different that is too. This bridge before going back to the chorus, because it's the best thing you can do live because it's call and response.
Yes.
That's
you just do, and we are
the coolest motherfuckers on the planet, right? The sky is like that would go crazy. Man, that's a good point. Yeah, that's why they need to tour. Where you at? Where you at? 3 Stacks. We want that OutKast album and tour. That's all. One last joint.
Damn. He's like, I didn't want to do an album, man, until I heard That's Hip Hop tell me that I needed to make one. So I did.
Hey, I'll take that credit too. I'll take all the credit for that. I sure would.
We move on to the behemoth known as Miss Jackson.
What?
Is he talking about anybody in particular here? Like
3000 talking about Erykah Badu.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
He is. Big Boi, I don't think his is about any woman in particular because he was married at the time. So I don't think his was particular. But 3000 was definitely talking about Erykah Badu.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this song's a big one. And then this is the fact of just the beginning of this, like you hear it played backwards.
Kind of like it's been going over and over again in his mind of some sorts, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then you hear the rain, in there, I think.
And apologies like this in choruses can run deep with people, and I could see why this is a single.
Right.
Because now we have people that need to be apologetic to a Miss Jackson, to the Miss Jackson in their mind.
Sort of like a heartbreak love song in a way too. And those songs can be the most powerful.
Absolutely.
Ask Usher.
With the biggest emotional attachment that you have is like, I made love with this woman and produced a child with her.
Right.
And now I'm in regret of something.
Yep.
So it's a powerful song.
Apologizing to baby mama's mama.
Yeah. And that was just something you never really heard before.
No.
Apologizing to the mom.
Like this is honestly like the one way, like even you see in the contrast of the verses, like Big Boi is coming from kind of your typical disgruntled, angry with his baby mama, whereas 3 Stacks come from a point of just being kind of mature, apologetic of how things turned out.
Like I didn't mean for this to happen.
It's like the most respectful way to talk about your baby mama ever in a rap song.
Big Boi's like, why
fuck
you
all
mad
that.
at me?
Yeah,
like, I'm doing all the stuff. Like,
Big Boi ain't being nice about it. Nah. No. But I for this one I want 3000's verse on this one.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah, this one's right here goes out to all the baby's
mamas.
Baby's
mamas.
Yeah, it goes like this. I mean, very iconic, even that beginning right there. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Who I am for real.
Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Who I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times.
My baby mama drama don't like me. She be doing things like having them boys come from the neighborhood to the studio trying to fight me. She need to get a piece of that American pie and take her bite out. That's my house. I'll disconnect the cable and turn the lights out. And let her know.
Disconnect the cable and turn the lights
out.
Wow. That's my house.
Yeah, it's my house. Don't forget.
About.
And let her know her grandchild is a baby and not a paycheck. Private school, daycare shit, medical bills, I pay that. I love your mom and everything, but see, I ain't the only one who lay down. She want to rip you up and start a custody war. My lawyer stayed down. She never got a chance to hear my side of the story. We was divided. She had fish fries and cookouts for my child's birthday. I ain't invited. Despite it, I show her the utmost respects when I fall through. All you do is defend that lady when I call you. Yeah.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real.
Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. Me and your daughter got this thing going on.
Rage is crazy too.
You say it's puppy love. We say it's full grown. Hope that we feel this feel this way forever. You could plant a pretty picnic,
bar
but
right
you
there.
can't predict the weather. Miss Jackson,
Out of here.
gone.
Out of here.
10 times out of 9. Now if I'm lying, fine. The quickest muzzle, throw it on my mouth and now decline. King meets queen, then the puppy left thing. Together dream about that crib with the good year swing on the oak tree. I hope we feel like this forever, 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 ever, forever, ever. Forever doesn't seem that long until you're grown and notice that the day by day rule can't be too wrong. Miss Jackson, my intentions were good. I wish I could become a magician, the abracadabra, all the sadder thoughts of me, thoughts of she, thoughts of he, asking what happened to the feeling that her and me had. I pray so much about it, need some need pass.
Right
it happened
there.
for a reason, one can't be mad. So know that everything's cool. And yes, I will be present on the first day of school and graduation. Oh,
Jackson.
man. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times.
So Miss Jackson.
Yeah, this is
Woo!
out of here.
Gone.
Real.
I mean, I like the fact that the pauses, like where me had, me pass, can't get me mad. Like,
Incredible.
yeah, that's dope. And it was like, how relatable is this for everybody?
Oh,
like,
you got a baby mama. Hey.
a lot of stories, man.
This beat's such a good playground for them to just do whatever.
To
Yes.
just spaz out, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Verse 3, look at the way he treats me. Shit, look at the way you
Treat me.
You see? The little noisy ass homegirls done got your ass sent up the creek, G.
Damn.
Without a paddle, you left to straddle and ride this thing out. Now you and your girl ain't speaking no more because my dick all in your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Jealousy, infidelity, envy, cheating, beating in the year 2G. They
be
the same thing.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. The way he delivered that too. Jealousy,
Envy, cheating, beating in the year 2G, they be the same thing.
So you know who placing to blame on. You keep on singing the same song. Bygones be bygones. And you can
Don't
go
get the
on.
hell on
Get
you
the
and
hell
your
on.
mama.
You and your mama.
You and your mama.
Yeah, he ain't having any shit with that.
It was the whole tone was different. Like I said, 3000 was all nice and
Yeah, me
apologetic,
and your daughter.
respectful. He said,
I apologize a trillion times.
You and your mama.
I'm cutting the lights out. I apologize a trillion times. Get the hell out.
I'm out.
That's funny. That's too funny.
Crazy.
Yeah, that song is a classic right
Classic.
there. Yeah.
Classic.
Two different perspectives from 3000 and from Big Boi, and they're both delivered like phenomenally on this track.
Incredible.
The beats banging.
To immortalize it goes up there with the last name joints like me and Mrs. Jones.
Yeah,
Goes up there
Definitely,
with Miss Jackson.
The title alone's iconic. Yeah.
Damn.
That's true.
Damn, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So we go down down to Bombs Over Baghdad, which is crazy because this is a whole different style and feel.
They went nuts on
yeah,
this.
it's almost like I don't know what they call it. Like it's almost like just the pace of it feels like EDC, almost like that pace of like fast pace. Yeah. Maybe some influences there, but definitely like
you definitely have a good time with this.
This becomes like a wartime anthem for those in the military, especially like what we're saying after the times of 9/11 happen, and then they actually do go to Baghdad. We actually do go to Baghdad, and like it's crazy how this becomes sort of like this anthem now.
It's the unfortunate dividend that this song gets paid out with, because you get later the next year,
right?
You have the unfortunate
and they didn't mean
they're
not even for the war either. It's not like they were doing this for the war. Like
it's a sick coincidence, It's like it's just the ill-fated prediction of just a fate, if you have it, where you just made a song about something that happens, and then that something happens later. Yeah. Not like then and there the next week, but it's like, oh, well, this eventually happened, and now this is paying off. This isn't as intentional as 1999 is when Prince makes it like 15 or 10 or 15 years from 1999. Yeah. When 1999 comes out, it becomes a hit again.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Instead of the hit, you get Bombs Over Baghdad, which just emphasizes something, and it becomes a hit in the sense of like this is motivation of sorts for people to like gear up and round up,
right,
for the military to get their like internal like patriotism with it,
right. All right, so we go on this track. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
I want to do a Big Boi's verse.
Okay. On slumdational underground thunder pounds when I stomp the ground Like a million elephants or silverback orangutans. You can't stop the train. Who wants some? Don't come unprepared. I'll be there. But when I leave there, better be a household name. Weatherman telling us it ain't gonna rain. Now we sitting in a drop top soaking wet in a silk suit, trying not to sweat. Hit somersaults without the net. Oh, man. But this will be the year that we won't forget. The 1999 Anno Domini, anything goes. The
AD.
Explaining AD. Anything goes, be what you want to be as long as you know consequences are given for living. The fence is too high to jump in jail, too low to dig. I just might touch hell hot. Get a life. Now they on sale. I might cast you a spell. Look what came in the mail. A scale and some Arm & Hammer. Soul Gold, grill, and a baby mama. Black Cadillac and a pack of Pampers. That's pretty much the starter kit that you may need to develop your street pharmacy. A stack of questions with no answer. Cure for cancer, cure for AIDS. Want to stay on tour for days. Get back home. Things are wrong. Well, not really. It was bad all along. Before you left adds up to a ball of power. Thoughts at 1,000 miles per hour. Hello, ghetto. Let your brain breathe. Believe there's always more. Ow!
Don't pull the thing out unless you plan to bang. Bombs over Baghdad. Yeah, don't even bang unless you plan to hit something. Bombs over Baghdad. Yeah. Don't pull the thing out unless you plan to bang. Bombs over Baghdad. Yeah, don't even bang unless you plan to hit something. Bombs over Baghdad.
Yeah, man.
Uno, dos, tres, son. Did you ever think a pimp rock a microphone like that there, boy? And we still stay street. Big things happen every time we meet, like a track team, cat fiend down the Greek geek, OutKast bumping up and down the street, saying back Cadillac, about 5 deep, 7-5 MCs freestyling to the beat, cause we get crunk, stay drunk at the club. Should've bought an ounce, but you caught the dub. Should've held back, but you throw the punch. Supposed to meet your girl, but you packed the lunch. No D to the U to the G for you. Got a son on the way by the name of Bamboo. Got a little baby girl for a year, Jordan. Never turn my back on my kids for them. Should have hit it, quit it, rag top, but you re-up, get a laptop. Make a business for yourself, boy, set some goals. Make a fat diamond out of a dusty coal. Record number 4, but we on the roll. Hold up, slow up, stop, control. Like Janet, planning Stankonia is on you. Moving like Floyd, coming straight from Florida. Lock all your windows, then block the corridors. Pulling off my belt because we whipping this order. Like a three-piece fish before I cut your daughter. Your kettle Taco Bell, then I hit the border. Pity pat rappers trying to get to 5, and my microphone fiend trying to stay alive. When it comes to ATL, you better not hide, because the Dungeon family, you gonna ride.
I told you there's choruses where Andre 3000 is getting outshined by Big Boi.
Yeah, this is a crazy verse.
Big Boi spazzed.
This is one of them.
Big Boi, 3000 went crazy, but Big Boi went crazy. Like, he went nuts.
And both of them kind of do the best of what they've been accustomed to, where, you know, Big Boi kind of stays grounded in the street, and Andre 3000 is here still just like out there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. They just come together and they're like, wow, it's like a perfect marriage of sorts, and you kind of wish there was more, you know?
Yeah.
Good gosh.
Yeah. Because it was, they propelled their stardom. Like I said, they kept building and building. It's like, great album, classic album, super classic album.
Yeah. They haven't landed to create another album. They've been shot up high in the air.
It's like classic album with #1 records, another classic album with super classic hit records and album of the year at the Grammys. Then you do a movie, and then that was it. That's it. They did Idlewild, and then that was it. Like, the last piece of music we got from them was the Idlewild soundtrack.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's the last thing we got from them together.
Oh yeah, and then peace to Big Boi for playing a very good villain in ATL.
Oh yes, he was very good in that movie.
With one of the funniest lines I've ever heard. And I was probably the only like Mexican dude cracking up in the theater. He was like, "Didn't they tell you light skinned boys are out of style?" Oh my god. Good God, that movie! Oh,
hilarious. He was kind of not trying to go down the rabbit hole, but he was so good at that role because he kind of showed like that's kind of what the street dudes be like. They're funny. Yeah. They street and all of that, but dude was cracking jokes like the whole time. He was funny.
What do we take away from a classic album like this? What's the takeaway?
I mean, it shows that another example that lyricism can sell.
Yeah.
It really put Atlanta in the super mainstream of hip hop. Again, it's Atlanta's been around for a while by this point, but it hadn't got to the point where it was dominating rap.
Right.
You know, that was still a few years away. So I feel like this album was another building block to get to that point where it's like, okay, we're at a point now where the hottest rap song is coming from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And it's authentically Atlanta. It's lyrical, but it's catchy. They showed the entire package with this album where, like I said, you got good melodies, catchy hooks, but crazy, crazy bars.
We don't see the direct impact of what this album's going to do. This is kind of like those generational inspiration albums where now Tyler the Creator, Childish Gambino,
yes.
Kendrick Lamar,
yes,
they're like, Stankonia did this for me.
Correct.
And now it's doing this for y'all, listening to it.
Right.
Because it's my artistry that's now doing this now.
Great example.
Yeah, because they did become very influential to a lot of them, to a lot of people.
And you saw it later.
Yeah,
you know, it wasn't immediate. It took a good maybe 8 to 12 years before you started to see those artists that they really influenced start to come out and be successful.
Yeah, because it's kind of like several iterations of Andre 3000 being successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's good that you see that because now it's like, okay, cool, that expands out. Those successful artists expand out again,
100%,
and it just becomes you get to see what true skills like. You see the cream rise to the top in this instance where it's like, damn, this is really good artistry, just elevating now.
Yeah,
all because of what Andre 3000 and Big Boi did collectively.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then that's always something too. I like when you have different stars coming out of different regions. Like I love that because it just makes the overall. It's like in the NBA when you have great teams in the West and the East and the Midwest.
Makes it more exciting.
It's more exciting. And I feel like when the rap game, when you have like this duo coming out of the South in the time of like Eminem and the West and then the East coming out, like it's just it
was a nice little era because it was like you had them from Atlanta, Ludacris is coming out, Nelly's coming out, Eminem is out, you still got Jay and Nas doing their thing, DMX still killing it, Dre's back in the fold with another good album with Snoop, Exhibit, like
Nelly said it best. He goes, the time I was out, I had a battle against the toughest.
He said it was the most competitive era.
Guys.
He said it was like Jay-Z, DMX, Eminem, Lil Wayne,
try to carve your lane in that.
50 Cent. Like he said, I'm going against all of these. He said all of us are fighting for one spot. Like the way he laid that out was perfect. He was right because like yes, the previous era lyrically was arguably more competitive. But the era Nelly's talking about commercially was way tougher. That's way tougher commercially.
Yeah.
Oh, we can make money off of hip hop? Okay, cool. Now they're cool now.
Right.
Yeah. So that's when you saw a bunch of artists started showing up.
Yes. So he was like, in that era, he said, I'm going against Jay, DMX, Eminem, Lil Wayne, 50, Luda. He said, we all trying to fight for this one spot for the hottest rapper of the year.
Yep. Jay-Z, DMX, dude.
That was hard to do. 50, Wayne.
This reminds me of the 2000s All-Star Game. Just
just hoopers everywhere.
Yeah, that was when it was interesting.
Back when they had to wear their own jerseys.
Yeah.
To bring your own jersey All-Star games. Those was different, man.
Different days right there.
Make sure you pack your bag.
Right.
Classic album. Make sure you guys check it out. This is definitely a recommended album from us. Of course, we're dropping episodes every Monday, so make sure you're checking us out. Make sure you're commenting and let us know what you're looking out for, what you want us to cover. Of course, you can just comment, let us know, and we'll put that in the queue for us to cover as well. So, or if you have any questions, let us know. Mark, go ahead, let them have it, man.
To the MCs, if you drop a mic, all right, drop a light.
All right, forever.
Visit Planet Stankonia.
Forever, ever.